What is going on, guys? Carlos here from Everything Tech, and in this video we're gonna remove the FRP of a Galaxy S8 Plus G955F. All the links are going to be in the description, and this works for up to binary 4, U4 or S4. So as you can see, I'm showing you that the phone is indeed locked by FRP, and now we're going to go and check what firmware is in the device. So this works with firmware 1, U1, S1, U2, S2, U3, S3 and U4, S4. It works with all these firmwares, but all you need to do if you're on a lower firmware is update the phone with the full firmware that I provided in the description, and then you can follow the guide from the beginning. First thing we're going to need to do is put the phone in recovery mode so we can check what firmware is currently installed on the device. So that is volume up, power button and Bixby button with the phone off. So as you see the Galaxy logo, and then you will see an Android logo and it says installing system update. After this screen it will come up an Android logo saying that it had a problem, no command. So we just have to wait here until we get to the recovery menu. This works with all S8 G955F. Do not install any of the files that I provide on a different model because you might damage your phone. So as you can see in here, we have the G955FXS for CRL8, and that is for Android 8 firmware 8. So if you have this firmware, you can just go ahead and follow the guide. If you have a lower firmware like an S3 or S2, you need to update the phone and then follow the guide. So now let's put it in download mode, which is Bixby button, volume down and power button, and that will get you into this mode here, which is the warning screen. Then all you need to do is press volume up and you are in download mode. So as you can see, FRP lock is on and OEM lock is on. Now let's go ahead and remove the FRP lock. So let's go on the computer and we're going to launch Odin 3.13.1 and load the combination firmware in AP. Just follow the guide exactly like I'm showing you on the screen so you won't have any problems. So this bit will take quite a bit of time, but I've sped up a little bit, and then once you're ready just click start. This will go through a long process, but I've sped up this part of the video so I won't bore you with the time that it takes to do this. Just be aware that this will take quite a bit of time. Once this is finished, your phone will reboot and you'll start launching Factory Binary, which is like a program designed by Samsung for engineers, for their engineers, and that's what we're using in order to remove the FRP lock. So in this process here, it will take a little bit of time as well to get to the factory binary, and the factory binary itself will take a little bit of time in order to load properly so you can get to a GUI. So once you do that, I've again sped up most of this video in order to not bore you with it. So if you see any sped up, there's nothing funny going on. It's just the way that I did it in order to save time. So as you can see, we are on U4 firmware. We're going to go into the dots at the top after everything loads, and we're going to go into settings. Finally, we're going to go down all the way into developer options, and in here we're going to make sure that our debugging is enabled, USB debugging. I normally disable and enable this just to be sure, but I didn't do it this time. Once we do that, we're going to go back and back once more, and we're going to go back one more time. And now we're going to click on IME and select *#0808#, and we're going to choose the bottom option, DM plus ACM plus ADB, and click reboot. The phone will reboot one more time, and we're going to go back onto the factory binary once more, because that's where we're going to use our FRP bypass. So once the phone has gone through the motions and gets to the factory binary and finally gets to the GUI of the factory binary, we're going to go and do the same thing, IME and *#0808# and click OK instead. So just leave it like that, and let's go on the computer and launch Frp Bypass. This one, just click on Frp Bypass, double click or right click, run as administrator. And I normally do this a few times just to make sure that it's going to do it, because if you just do it one time and reinstall the full firmware, then you need to go back again and get to the factory binary and install the factory binary. It's just wasted time. Just make sure that it's gone through. Either double click or right click and open as administrator. When you're happy with it, launch Odin one more time, and now it's time to get our firmware. All the links are in the description, as I said before. So just start by launching BL, which is your bootloader, and then AP. And AP, just be aware that it takes quite a bit of time to load, but I've sped up this part, that's why it's loading a lot quicker. Then once AP is in, it's time to load CP, which is your modem, and finally CSC. Instead of CSC, just select home CSC. That's what you need to select. Once you're happy with that, it's time to put the phone in download mode, and then we'll be able to flash the firmware on it. So just pick up your phone one more time and click the power button to turn it off, and then it's volume down, Bixby button and power button at the same time. So wait for the charge icon to show that it's charging, just like that, and then your Bixby button, volume down and power button at the same time until it gets to the warning screen, and then volume up button to get you into download mode. Once it gets to the download mode, you can just press start on the computer and it will start the process. So as you can see, FRP lock is still on and OEM lock is still on. So just press the start button on the computer, and that will be going through quite a few steps in order to install the firmware on the device. And this will normally take roughly about 5 minutes to get the whole process done. It's quite a large file, so it takes a very long time for it to install. Firmwares have become so large, they're the size of Windows or Mac OS, and sometimes even larger. So once the process is done, the phone will go through many steps, like installing system update, deleting. It will just go through so many steps in order to get to the desktop for the first time. But once it goes through all of those steps, you see Android upgrading, installing applications, and this is almost done. So now you'll be presented with the home screen when it install apps finishes, but then you will be kicked out to the terms and conditions, which you have to accept in order to go further. So just click OK here, and then I've read and agree, and that's it, you're on the home screen. But that's not the end of it. You still need to do a couple of things in order to get the phone operational. So the first thing we're going to need to do is go into settings, and then we're going to go, as you can see, the cloud and accounts. The accounts are not there anymore. I should have clicked on accounts, but I didn't by mistake. So now let's go to device maintenance and click on storage, and as you can see on the top, the device is only 16 gigabytes, 6.5 gigabytes out of 16 gigabytes, which is not right. So in order to correct this, we need to go to reset the phone to factory settings in order to reset everything properly, because we didn't reset because we installed home CSC, and that keeps the data that you had there before. Although there was no data for me, it kept some of the settings that were there before when you installed firmware 7, which is the factory binary. So once the phone restarts, this is sped up 2000%. Because it takes such a long time. You will be here at least 20 minutes to install everything and to make sure that everything is checked out and it's installed properly. So once you get to this bit here, as you can see, emergency and accessibility are now available. You can just click start, put your password for your internet, and click next. Then in here, accept the terms and conditions and click agree. I skipped most of this part in here. I didn't put any of my email or anything like that. I just put the Wi-Fi password because I had to, but apart from that, I just wanted to show you. So in this section here, I click skip, but you can put your email address and set up the phone if you like to. And then just go OK, and then go OK one more time, and next, and no thank you on protect your phone, skip. Then go down and click accept on this section here. I deselected all of the review additional apps, clicked OK, and the phone will go through a few more additional finishing touches, and it will ask you to sign into your Samsung account if you have one. If you want, you can just go ahead and sign into your Samsung account, or if you don't, you can just skip this part here. I skipped this part as well. And then don't restore. If you have a backup, you can restore if you want to. Then click finish, and we are ready to use the phone. And now let's have a look and see the storage on the phone, and to see if there are any accounts on there or anything like that. So go into settings and device maintenance and storage, and as you can see on top, 12 gigabytes out of 64 gigabytes. So all of that is back to normal. So I guess this is it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you did like this video, or if this video helped you, please give us a like and consider subscribing so I can continue releasing more content like this. I'll be back again soon with some more FRP. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.